Greetings, Animuffins, and welcome back to the channel. I haven't been on the channel in quite a long time, and there is a reason. I have decided to retreat into the woods for a really long time, and so I am struggling with finding a balance between a life with like no service and also just like wanting to always be online. So there's that. Just a nice little update. I won't give you too much lore because I honestly don't really feel like my personal life has anything to do with this channel, and I kind of want to keep it that way, to be honest. So, today I wanted to discuss the, weird connection of quote-unquote lesbianism with misandrous tendencies or men exclusionary tendencies. And for this, I think I want to like focus on myself. The only reason why this is a thought right now and I'm opening this up for discussion is because I really don't have the time to edit an entire video essay, and I just want to have an open and honest discussion about some men exclusionary tendencies that I'm noticing with myself. I know it may not seem like it, and this might really be a hot take, but I feel like the lesbian experience is very different from a straight woman's experience, especially when it comes to men. And I think it's not as, I feel like, yeah, no. I feel like the power at play is different, and I also feel like we as lesbians, like, I know, speaking for myself, like, I have never had to go on birth control or anything like that. I've never had to, be like in an abortion chair, getting an abortion, or having to contemplate the severity that comes with being attracted to women, and this goes for bisexual women as well. I've never really had to deal with that. I've always been very self-focused, if that makes any sense, and not to say that like I'm a selfish, self-centered person, but no. I've never really had to, and so like deal with men in that way. I was never really interested in them, so I think that in a way I display men exclusionary tendencies. And like I do talk about like patriarchy and things like of that nature a lot, and just like but I'm starting to notice like this visceral pattern of just like, it went from like decentering men to like resenting them in a way. And I'm not entirely sure why, and maybe a line was crossed somewhere along the journey. And I do want to make it clear that I don't think all men are atrocious human beings. But I do feel as though, I'm going to be so honest right now, and this is going to sound problematic, but I do feel as though the minute a man steps into your life, things can get really, really problematic for you as a woman. And so, because of the power imbalance and all that shit, and I do feel as though, like, it is within, like, my right to separate myself from that, which is why I don't partially disagree with the 4B movement. And I think that, like, I also have to be real about, like, my misandrous tendencies, and it's, like, my quote-unquote man-hating, but, like, I'm working on it because I have brothers, and I understand that patriarchy affects men as well, but it's hard because it's, like, when you've been hurt, and when you've feel the pain of other women around you, you take that on for yourself, and you begin to sort of take this activist warrior position where it's like you put up so much walls, and it's like it's almost as if like I'm blocked off from receiving any type of love from men, and I don't want it to come off as that. Like, I am strictly a lesbian, but like I also hold platonic relationships with these people, so I just like, but I also feel like I like the fact that I'm a little bit like of a misandrist, I'm not gonna lie. Like, man, who the fuck cares? Like, men have made it their entire aesthetic to hate women. It's an aesthetic to hate women, like, and it's an aesthetic to like talk down on women. So if I like portray a misandrist for satirical purposes, and you know, because I find it funny, other people take it so seriously and they disregard the satire within it. It's satirical because there's a little bit of truth in it, which is kind of ironic, but at the same time, such as life. So, I don't know. But like, yeah, I'm getting really real about this. And I'll still like continue to like talk about how much I love women, and I'm still going to continue about like to talk about like my yoni, and I'm going to continue to talk about really pink things and no hate to men and fuck chauvinistic phallocentric imagery, but like I will draw vaginas on everything. I also wanted to refer to the 3 female figures and feminist icons in the thumbnail. The first being Delilah Bond. Delilah Bond is a UK artist I've been listening to. She does a lot of like feminist anthem, like really like empowering shit, and her music's really good. She drew my attention when she created that song Dead Men Don't Rape, and paying attention to her music and like paying attention to like what she talks about, because I'm not exactly sure about her identity. I don't know if she identifies as bi or a lesbian, but I do take notice that whenever she does mention or talk about men, it's always in a like, it is rather negative, or like there is a power imbalance, and it's not to say like there's always like a I have power over them, but like in regards to her music, she always talks about how she wants women to regard her. Like within this music, there is this notion of fuck men, and like it's really unapologetic, and you can feel it, and you can feel the hurt, and you can feel the pain. However, within the same breath, she does give up that power to women, and I've watched a few of her videos, and she talks about being bullied and how she was bullied by mainly women, but here she is as this hardcore feminist, usually being bullied by women, but willing to give up her power to women. And I don't know where this is gonna go, but I do feel as though there is something to be said about this paradox of giving it all up for a cause, because you know it's right, for the collective issue, but within your day-to-day life and your immediate circles, you are being punched down on, and you are dealing with the impacts of patriarchy and misogyny within these circles of sisterhood.
It's hard because being a person who was also mainly bullied by women, who still has trouble, I'm going to be honest, maintaining relationships with other women, it's hard to give it all up for them because that is genuinely how you feel and you wouldn't have it any other way. So you open yourself up to constantly being hurt and being punched in the same wound over and over again because I don't know where this is gonna go and I'm scared about where this is gonna go, so I'm just gonna shut the fuck up.
Anyways, guys, I did want to kind of keep this video short because I really did want this to be like a first draft, open for discussion. Maybe one day I will revisit the topic and, you know, write a formal video essay on this, hopefully sometime soon. Yeah, and I just kind of wanted collective opinions on, do you feel as though there is a connection between quote unquote misandry and lesbianism? Do you feel as though if you move towards one end of this, like the spectrum of sexuality, being as though being more attracted to femme presenting, being more attracted to the side of women, and like non-binaryism, do you feel as though like what the fuck is non-binaryism? My brain is making things up. It is 2:30 in the morning. Guys, I usually fall asleep at like 7:30 p.m., but it's my off time and I'm having a very creative spur right now, so this is when my brain is active. So like do you feel like there's a connection between like misandry and lesbianism and guarding yourself in a way that can be seen as very exclusionary to men? And do you feel like that has anything to do with your sexuality? I want to ask this question to the lesbians. I want to ask this question to the bisexual women with preferences for more femme presenting people. And what's your take? Do you feel as though you have an obligation to women? Have you been bullied by women? Have you been bullied by men and women? As have I. I have been bullied by both men and women. It is not fun. And so I'm just trying to get to the bottom of this, or not get to the bottom of this, or completely disregard this if it's stupid, whatever. But I just feel like it needs to be discussed. And yeah. Also, the icon on the screen, Miss Angela Davis herself, a black, lesbian, feminine icon, known, feminist icon, excuse my language, known for, most notably, the Black Panthers. Fucking badass bitch. She identifies as a lesbian, and she's been called out for very quote-unquote radical feminist views. And I definitely want to make a video going more in depth on Angela Davis because, and this might actually be a video essay within itself. So, yeah, there's a lot of upcoming projects coming. By the way, I know it seems as though I took a hiatus, and I did take a hiatus, a very needed, very spiritual retreat into the woods, very needed fresh lake water, needed to get in touch with things outside of my human existence. So, if that makes any sense, which it doesn't have to make any sense. And so, Mama's back. And I'm so ready to yip my yapper. Yip my yapper. I really said that, like, okay. New trend, guys. We all gotta say yip my yapper. And it's, yeah, no one's gonna say that.